You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
And the Wolves play here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday edition of Sports Back. As always, I'm your host, Richard Reed, holding it down for Carly Pear, Jackson Schrader, and my guy, John Howley, who is going to kill it tonight, as always, on the board.
Thanks, sir.
Stay tuned, because a little later in the show, we dive into basketball. Our guy, Lim Boinga, is going to come in once again. Same guy that came in Monday. Same guy that came in last Monday. He's our resident basketball expert here at Wolf Sports Network, and he's going to come tag in during the basketball segment for Carly, so stay tuned for that. But outside of basketball, we've got a jam-packed show. We're going to talk a whole bunch of UWG athletics, dive into some sports news, and I think we just got a new cell phone set up, so we might be getting a call sometime throughout the show. But before we get started, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to help reduce the 21% of adults with low literacy skills. We are collecting new and gently used books for every pre-K student monthly. Give today by visiting wolfradio.com/bookdrive. That is wolfradio.com/bookdrive. Dine West here at the University of West Georgia is committed to offering a diverse menu that accommodates a wide range of dietary preferences, including vegan, gluten-free, and multicultural options. Their menu changes daily, and you can view the weekly offerings from both East and West Commons at westga.edu/dinewest. That is westga.edu/dinewest. Did you know that college students that binge drink alcohol at least 3 times per week are roughly 6 S-I-X times more likely to perform poorly on a test or a project as a result of drinking? That is why the Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined forces with Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign to remind students drinking should be done responsibly and in an environment that discourages overindulging. Faculty will not take hangovers as excuses.
No.
And neither will I. Now let's talk some West Georgia sports.
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown!
We are one. Go Wolves.
Yes, Lord. And our West Georgia Wolves women's basketball team has got their 10th win of the season and their 4th conference win last night in a dominant 70-57 performance against the Austin P Governors. Man, they sent them Governors right back over to the Governor's Mansion in Tennessee because they were spanking them all game, shooting 52% from the field.
So good.
Wow.
And 50% from 3, led by leading scorer. Now I don't have it pulled up. Led by 3 leading scorers who were all in double digits. Nari Holiday was dominating down low with 14 points. This was just an outright dominant performance from the West Georgia Wolves. Killed it on the inside, killed it from 3. Schrader, you were sitting right next to me at the game. What are a few things you noticed in this dominant performance that led to this big-time conference win?
I mean, the big one was obviously efficiency. We only had one player shoot less than 50% from the field, which is massive.
Insane.
And it just seemed when we needed shots to fall, they did. And the big thing that we saw was, we were kind of joking around halfway through the third quarter, like, oh, we're up by 15,
We got 5 minutes left.
Hopefully they don't crumble, And then they kind of did. And it became like a one-possession game. But then they realized that, and they flipped it into another gear, and they ended up winning by a large margin. So what we saw here was not only the ability to finish out a game, but to finish out a game strong and to build a lead at the end of the game. It was an extremely efficient night and just one heck of a game for this women's team.
I will say from that, just finishing really strong and getting to that one possession, but like you said, you hunkered down everything and you continued and you won. It was actually really, really strong performance. I loved it, and we clawed back and we did it. So I was very happy to see that, and congrats getting 10th win of the season.
Now look, our women's basketball team is not the only women's women's team currently active here in West Georgia that we're very excited about. Our women's softball team has been balling. Started off the season 3-1. Had a really tough game last night against Mercer on the road in Macon. Came up a little bit short, losing with a final score of 4-3. Mercer scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning that really took it home there and kind of sealed the win for them. But I'm not really too upset about this win because this team is very resilient. It was a very close game. It's not like they got mercy ruled by Mercer.
Mercer's a very good softball
Exactly.
team.
The game was rain shortened too, so they didn't play the entire game. They kind of had to call it because of the weather.
Right, so they scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Normally you're about to play, 3 to 4 more innings after that, so the game got shortened. Our Wolves were all over them, scoring 1 run in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning. So our offense were hot, our bats were hot. Like you said, Schrader, the game was shortened by the rain. So I'm not discouraged by this at all. Currently sitting at 3-2, cracked top 25 in one of the coaches polls at the beginning of the week. Probably fell out of that now with this loss, but it's A-okay. Because like we just said, this West Georgia softball team is good. Yeah. And don't get too comfortable seeing them outside the top 25.
I should just say we might run the A-Sun.
I think so.
I'm just going to throw that out
Carly?
there.
I could definitely see that too. And I mean, you can't necessarily count this game against Mercer because of all the outside factors, the weather. I think the outcome of the game could have been completely different had they finished out the game the way that it should have.
Yeah, most definitely. And our softball team gets a lot of time to rest, recoup, and get angry about how that game was shortened because they don't play again until next Friday, February 21st at 3:45 p.m. in beautiful North Carolina, where they will take on the Maryland Terrapins, followed by at 6 p.m. where they're going to take down Georgetown.
If we win one of these games, man.
Oh, that's going to be big. And then on Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m., they face Wagner. Then they face Wagner again Sunday the 23rd at 9 a.m. Oh my gosh, reading that 9 a.m. tip-off, that just brought back memories.
9 a.m.
man.
first pitch.
Yeah, 9 a.m. first pitch. Excuse me. It still got basketball on the brain. But while I'm thinking about basketball, our men's basketball team has a road game tomorrow against Eastern Kentucky University. So if you're sitting here listening, you're somewhere in spitting distance from Richmond, Kentucky, make sure you swing by and support our West Georgia Wolves men's basketball team as they are looking to get back in the win column with this big time A-Sun conference matchup against Eastern Kentucky.
That's tonight.
That's tonight?
It's tonight.
That's what I thought. What'd I say?
You said yes, tomorrow.
Tonight,
think
tomorrow.
maybe, I don't know.
Potato.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're listening tonight, that's who they play. I can't see that. What does it say?
Don't forget our baseball home opener is this weekend.
It is.
A big Valentine's Day weekend for our baseball team. Super excited to see them, how they're going to play out. I'm not sure if they're going to kind of keep up with the women's team because we've seen, with basketball, men struggling a little bit more than our women's team. So I'm kind of interested to see how baseball and softball is going to work in that aspect as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this upcoming baseball season. They have a lot of new faces on the team. Schrader, I know you're friends with a few guys on the team, correct? No, that's John.
Yes,
that is me.
Yeah, John, you're friends with a few guys on the
Yeah.
team, correct?
Yes, I do have class with one of the starting pitchers.
Okay.
So
yeah, we
That's
got
a few guys.
Yeah, we got Look, man, it doesn't
But
matter.
they seem to be confident is what I've kind of seen. They're they're definitely all bonded together. It was more
Well,
transfer.
I hope they're confident.
Well, yeah, I would say it was another kind of transfer portal year.
Right.
Obviously, with moving up, being Division One. You're going to go more transfer portal here. It was kind of a lot harder to really recruit, I would say.
Right.
But it seems like these group of guys, you got a lot more seniors this year. So I think a good chunk of guys from last year stayed. So definitely looking forward to it for this Friday.
Yeah, and when you're looking at this baseball team, one name that you should look for is Cooper Prince. He was our best player by far last year. He had a 371 batting average, of 487 on base percentage, which basically means 50% of the time he was on base. So
Cooper Prince
this dude's
was
a dog.
Lead off hitter. That guy's a beast in the outfield.
Another team that's doing super well that we've talked a little bit about is our track and field team. Specifically, our track and field freshman, Gavin Barlow, has just won A-Sun Freshman of the Week following his performance at UAB. So that's super cool. He had a 7.13 meter long jump, which is insane. So
that's far.
So they're trying to count on my fingers how far that meter
like
jump
21
was.
feet.
That's really far.
That's insane.
Is it really?
Yeah, a meter's about 3 feet. It's kind of close to a yard.
3 feet is in a yard.
It's close.
It's close to a yard.
Close, yeah.
I don't know much about meters, man. Don't they use meters overseas?
They use it everywhere
Something
except
like
here.
that.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Where
man.
they ain't free.
Look, we don't use it here for a reason. Oh, hold on. Sounds like we got a phone call here. Sports Pack, this is Richard speaking.
What's up, Sports Pack? It's your boy Big B. I'm wondering what's going on with the Jets and releasing Aaron Rodgers. Are they going to start that old man Tyrod Taylor or give it to young Jordan Travis coming back from that leg injury? Or what are they going to do, go back to the draft and try to get somebody like Jackson Dart? I mean, they're just running out of options and in the business of ruining quarterbacks' careers here.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting question right there because the Jets did announce today that they're officially releasing Aaron Rodgers and moving in a different direction of quarterback. So really a lot of options to weigh here. You do have Tyrod Taylor on the bench, like my guy Big B just mentioned. They do also have Jordan Travis, who seems to be close to being fully recovered from that devastating injury he had a few years back in Florida State. There's some free agent options as well. But Trey, I want to start with you because I know Jordan Travis is a player that's really close to your heart.
Near and dear.
He was the starting quarterback during Florida State's last relevant football
year.
season. Yeah, the golden year, if you will.
Golden year for
So let us know how you
reals.
feel. Do you think Jordan Travis may just be the guy and the future quarterback of the New York Jets?
I really like Jordan Travis, and I think he could be with a little more time. I think
Right.
a smart move that the Jets could do is maybe get a bridge quarterback, or I guess let Tyrod play, but I would go for a bridge quarterback that could develop Jordan Travis really well, because Jordan Travis is a very poised player. He's one of those guys that he could lead an NFL franchise. He just has that moxie about him, I guess. So I think it would be smart to do that, and you drafted him, so why not? He's not expensive right now. So yeah, do it.
Yeah, using internal resources would probably be a good idea. However, I think it is important for the Jets to kind of look at the whole plate, I guess you could say. So, like, in terms of free agents, you have Sam Darnold, Justin Fields.
Yep.
And they could also go for Kirk Cousins
I
with the
was saying the
Falcons.
same thing.
And,
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
but also, a lot of money. But I feel like with Kirk Cousins, if the Jets do go that route, I feel like they're going to end up in the exact same position they are now with Aaron Rodgers. So I think it's probably in their best interest to keep their number 7 pick and look for someone that they can build with, like a Jackson Dart or even Jalen Milroe as well.
Good Lord.
Milroe.
You said the name.
Milroe.
Milroe.
Golly.
Me personally, if you check out my mock draft, I don't have Jalen Milroe in my first round, but I do
No.
understand that,
Yeah,
Carly.
like second round, maybe.
I do understand
third
that
round,
because they
but-
do have a very early second round pick. So maybe if a guy like Milroe is still around, maybe Dart. I'm very, very high on Jackson Dart. He's my QB3 in this class. But if he wows a lot of people in the combine and starts moving up draft boards, maybe we see the Jets get aggressive and grab him at 7. I'm not really sure. I don't know if I'm sold on that. I believe they need to build their offensive line. And I'm more so, but I am in line with one thing you said, Carly. Go after a free agent quarterback. There are a couple good ones you can go after. Sam Darnold had a really good season, but a lot of people are kind of backing off of him after his performance in the playoffs. There's one guy, really young, with still a lot of upside. We saw a lot of him early in the NFL season. Falcons fans saw him up close week 1. I'm still drinking that Justin Fields Kool-Aid, man. I still believe that in the right situation, Justin Fields can develop into something very special. If they use that 7th overall pick for an offensive lineman, maybe go after another one in free agency or trading for a big-time offensive lineman, sign Justin Fields, maybe even to a 1-year deal, 1 or 2 year deal, just like the Steelers did. You can still use him as a bridge quarterback, potentially for Jordan Travis or any other guys you may have your eyes on as the Jets. But also, he doesn't have to be a bridge quarterback. He's the kind of guy with the kind of ceiling that can still blossom into something great and be your franchise guy. A few years ago, we saw him be dynamic with his legs with the Chicago Bears. He's the reason they won 6 or 7 games that season. He's still getting there with his arm, but overnight he has better receivers than he had in Pittsburgh. It was either he was throwing to George Pickens or he was handing it off to Najee Harris. There was nothing else to do. But you're giving him Garrett Wilson, a guy that's a fringe top 10 receiver in the league.
He had one of the best catches I've ever seen.
Exactly,
Yeah.
dude. Garrett Wilson's a freak. Brees Hall in the backfield. You still have Devontae Adams for right now. Maybe bringing in the right quarterback will keep him, but it's looking like he wants the door. But they have the resources to get more receivers, and they have good receivers and weapons in-house already. The defense is already top 10. I hope they're still motivated to play. Now they got a new head coach, but I'm telling you, I really feel like plugging Justin Fields into that Jet offense could be a brief remedy, if not a long-term solution.
Well, see, I like what you said earlier about saying you draft an offensive lineman instead of taking quarterback and get someone in free agency. I like what you're saying there with
Right.
Justin Fields.
The Wombo combo.
Yeah, the Wombo
Exactly.
combo.
They need to fix that
'Cause
line.
you could go
Yeah.
get a Will Campbell, a Josh Simmons, heck, a Kelvin Banks Jr., which honestly is my favorite tackle in this draft. But I think how much do they have a lot of cap space right now?
They don't have the most in the world.
They don't have
but
a lot of
decent
cap
amount.
space, so they couldn't really go get it. They couldn't go afford Kirk for some reason, which honestly I don't know why.
I don't know.
But my thing
Like,
is, I wouldn't want Kirk Cousins.
No,
If
I
I
wouldn't
could,
want-
if I could go out and get Sam Darnold or Justin Fields, why not?
If I'm Sam Darnold, I would not return to the New York Jets.
That's
I
very
would
true.
not.
That's
I
very
feel like
true.
the ghost would come back and haunt
is
him and just
true.
not be a good thing in return for
I
him.
forgot he played for the Jets at one point. He's had a long career already.
He
Yeah.
didn't just play for them at one point. They almost about ruined his career.
Exactly.
They came very close. But Justin Fields does have that Ohio State connection with Garrett Wilson.
Exactly.
He was with Garrett Wilson at Ohio State. They already have that rapport.
Yeah.
I was already sold on this idea, but the more I talk, the more I'm selling myself on this idea. I really feel like Justin Fields to the New York Jets might be the number one landing spot for him. Use that first round pick to get offensive linemen, or if you get aggressive and get one in the offseason, then you could use that number 7 overall pick to steal a guy that I think is going to end up falling to 8 to the Carolina Panthers and Ted McMillan, a guy a lot of people aren't really talking about right now. Everybody's talking about the quarterbacks. Everybody's talking about Travis Hunter. But Ted McMillan is a 6'6" monster of a wide receiver from the University of Arizona that will be on the board in that range, and they could get aggressive and go get him. Pair up another big-time player with Garrett Wilson. Overnight, that offense looks better. And you add Justin Fields, man, look, Jets fans, you got something to get excited about.
I mean, McMillan's one of those guys, like, everybody was really high on him going into this college football season.
Yep.
And then when Arizona they just didn't have that season that everybody really thought they would, they just stopped paying attention to him. They kind of pushed him to the side, and he quietly balled.
He kept balling. He still had 1,200 yards.
Exactly. I mean, in that situation, first year in a new conference, looking at it that way, he played great football, and he's going to be an instant difference maker wherever he goes, whether it's the Jets or whoever picks him up. He's going to be a dog.
I think the Jets are going to have to go lineman in the draft. They have $6 million in dead cap right now. I think they're very limited on it, unless they can work a deal with a couple of the linemen out there. I know one of the Falcons linemen, he's out there, and obviously you go get him, put him on the interior. I think he was our center, if I remember off the top of my head. Don't know. I feel like you go get a guy like him, help build that. Then you bring another guy I just forgot his name off the top of my head, from Arizona. You bring him in.
Ted McMillan.
Yes, bring in Ted. Yeah, I think you could build something special there.
I think the most likely turnout is for the Jets to use their 7th overall pick to go offensive line. The line was bad this year, and even the times they were good, they're really old on offensive line. They got guys like Tyron Smith up there. They need to get younger. So using that 7th overall pick, there will be some great offensive linemen still on the board, even some great D linemen. The guy by the name of Mason Graham from Michigan might still be up there as well. So there'll be a lot of good candidates of guys to draft right there. I don't think they get McMillan. I think skill position is the last thing they need to worry about. They need to worry about bolstering up that offensive line, giving Justin Fields some protection, because I just believe Justin Fields is going to be the guy.
With Breece Hall.
And also to run the ball with Breece Hall, because their run game was little to was barely even existent last year.
I had Breece on my fantasy team.
That had to hurt.
Yeah, you understand.
It was not fun.
They were barely pass protecting, and even the times they still couldn't establish the run. You're right, John. They need to go offensive line.
It's all offensive line.
Right, it's deeper than their cap space. They need to rebuild that offensive line. And with a brand new head coach coming in there, I believe that is going to be his first order of business, because you cannot win in football without an offensive line.
No.
$20 million in team cap space officially right here. So
$20 million is not bad.
$20 million is not bad, but that does not get you a top tier
It
lineman.
ain't the Bears, dude. The Bears are going to have one.
It's not the Bears cap space. That does not get you a top tier alignment as of right now. So yeah, it's really gonna be hard for them. So I think we're all kind of green. You gotta go lineman.
Yeah, they're gonna have to eat out of the draft. Maybe move a few guys, trade a guy like Devontae Adams if possible. I think might be a free agent this year. Find a way to get more picks so you can get better linemen. But there's two sides to this coin. Isn't this the Jets being affected by them moving on from Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is still floating around out here. He hasn't officially retired. He hasn't made any moves yet.
Right.
So what do you all think is going to happen? Do you expect Aaron Rodgers to retire? Or, if not, where do you think he's going to be playing next season? I think John just caught a cramp over here.
I'm sorry.
John just caught a cramp.
So
Here,
I'll get my thought out quick.
I couldn't tell if he enjoyed it or not. His face made it seem like he was a little.
No, I'll say he needs to retire. Simple as that.
All right.
Yeah,
we'll let you deal with whatever you're dealing with. Go ahead and mute that mic. But Schrader, what you thinking?
I think that he should retire, but knowing Aaron Rodgers, I have a feeling he's going to go somewhere else, and it's not going to work well, and then he's going to retire.
Who do you think would take him?
I have no idea, but yeah, I don't know who's going to take him. But, I mean, he has that name that anybody that's looking for. There's so many teams looking for a quarterback.
Right.
I can see the Titans just going out and getting him. I don't really know.
Maybe. I mean, the Titans are desperate. I mean, but... Oh my gosh, John, are you okay?
It's got to be a Charlie.
No, let me tell you, this hard breathing you're hearing in the background, it isn't anything freaky going on. John just caught a cramp over here. I'm not sure.
I caught a cramp in my freaking thigh, man.
Yeah, like he's been sitting still this whole time. All of a sudden, just tensed up.
Like,
Like I said,
man.
it originally looked like he might have been enjoying it. I wasn't very sure, but I think now we can confirm he is indeed in some pain right now.
Someone get this man some pickle juice.
Yeah, but if you're John's family, don't worry. I mean, he's all
He's
good.
okay. I
He's
promise you, I'm okay.
He's taken care of. Schrader's in school to be a PE teacher, so I'm pretty sure he knows how to handle this kind of thing. But
I'm
with
an
the-
intro, bro.
But I'm with the rest of you. I think he should retire. I love Aaron Rodgers. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks I've ever seen. Probably the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. He's amazing. Had an amazing career. But it's time to go out. It's time to go ahead and go out now as somewhat respectable, because I think one more season is going to hurt him more than it'll help him. Now, we're going to take a quick ad break, but stay tuned.
I'm going to take a stretch break.
Yeah, he's going to take a stretch break, and we're going to take an ad break. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to dive into some NBA and college basketball. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
Don't worry, there's a lot going on in the sports world. Catch Sports Pack on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Wolf Sports Network for all the sports updates you need. The Wolves play here.
Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you, because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through a WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
Sports fans, are you looking for a show where you can see other sports fans sharing in your misery and excitement? Then Sports Out of Pocket is for you, because we're fans too, and we experience our highs.
Bertigine is not a safety. He's just a corner who will lock down your number one.
And our lows.
Trayshawn Ward. Screw you, buddy. You were on our team last year, and you gave us no mercy, okay?
So join us every Wednesday at 5 to cheer and boo along with us, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's a tale as old as time. All good things must come to an end. But this final ride is going to be legendary.
Oh, yeah.
More legendary than this.
Is this the dagger?
And this.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown!
So be sure to listen to Triple Threat every Friday starting at 11. Only on Wolf Sports Network.
Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack, because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And we have a brand new show coming to Wolf Sports Network, The Playbook, where they talk about everything going on in the college sports world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
In a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. That's why the Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign, reminding you there is absolutely no drinking under the age of 21, to never drink and drive, even if it's only one beer, and to add food and water when you drink so you don't end up texting your ex. Nothing good ever comes of that, man. Which means know your limits. Let's talk some college hoops. Man, let me tell you what, man. The boys was hooping last night. Crazy game in the Big 12 last night. Texas Tech Red Raiders at home against the Arizona State Sun Devils won a double overtime thriller with a final score of 111. Yes, 111 to 106 in a college game. When I tell you these guys were scoring, they were scoring. And going into this game, not too many people were too much worried about Arizona State. They were a 12-11 team, 3-10 in conference play. While Texas Tech's in at 10-3 in conference play, 19-5. On paper, people are looking at this game like, man, Texas Tech should really get them out of there in the second half. Maybe it's close early on. But no. Arizona State battled the entire time, obviously went to double overtime. But this game was won at the end of the game by a clutch dunk by JT Toppin, one of the Red Raiders' best players, who exploded onto the scene with 41 points last night, followed by Damon Williams, who scored 27 points last night.
Got you feeling better than me over there.
Hey, look, man, got me feeling nice. The
liking this.
game was incredible, bro. So now when you look at the entire Big 12 landscape, it's interesting because Texas Tech has cemented themselves as a team that can win any type of game. A slow defensive game, they've done it. A high-scoring double overtime game, they can do it. They have the star power to score with just about anybody. So when looking at the Big 12 overall, it makes the conversation very, very interesting. So, Lim, going forward in this Big 12 race, what are a few teams that you like? Do you think Texas Tech will take it, or do you think there are some other teams that could get it done here?
Big 12 is like I said, we mentioned this before. Big 12 is just that conference. Like, it's just one of the best conferences in basketball.
Yep.
But in the Big 12, I think Texas Tech, I think they're making a case to be one of those teams in the Big 12, and Kansas and Baylor.
Yep. Baylor's solid.
Baylor's solid, so I think those teams have a chance to really do something in the Big 12. We'll see about Arizona. I'm kind of iffy on Arizona right now.
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about Arizona yet. They're sitting at 17-6. They're a top 15 team in the country, but I don't know if I'm sold yet. I really don't. I really like Houston, though. Houston sitting at 19-4, top 10 team. I still like them.
Yeah, and Iowa State, Iowa State has been consistent this year too, so can't leave them out. But again, we'll see who comes out of the Big 12. I'm really looking forward to the Big 12 tournament to see, because I think the competition is going to be amped up, because that's going near March Madness, towards the NCAA tournament. So I'm amped to see how that plays out.
Now, Schrader, before you chime in here, can we take a second and just admire this man Lim's coat?
Dude, he
oh my gosh,
dude,
he just came on Sports Pack making a fashion statement.
When does Lem not look good?
Dude, Lem be doing his thing, man. Lem always got the beanies on, but this time he popped out in a coat. That thing smooth and sleek. You can see the light bouncing off of it. Like, man, he said he wanted to come in and steal the show. He doing it. What Deion say? Look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. I mean, look, you came here making a statement.
He ain't catching cramps like me, though.
Nah, he ain't catching no cramp like you. That's too smooth. He lose too much aura if he got a cramp like you. But this guy Lim, he putting Sports Pack on notice. I'm about to come in with a suit on Monday to try to get my swagger back real quick, man. I just had to acknowledge that.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man.
You came in doing it. I respect it.
But yeah, that's what, like, when you look at conferences like the Big 12, like very competitive conferences like this, I always think it's funny when people are like, do you think this team can take it, like, right now? Like, we're getting close to the end of the season.
Yeah.
But, man, the Big 12 is one of those conferences, when you throw them all in that tournament, you have no idea who's going to come out on top.
There's no telling. A couple years ago, K-State made a run.
Exactly. Like a decade ago, Kemba Walker took that UConn team that lost like 5 of their last 7 games in the regular season, and he just took them all the way, winning the Big East and all the way to the title. Like, you never
crazy.
know what's going to happen in March. It's why it's one of the greatest spectacles of sport. For real.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, Texas Tech. I want to say, Texas Tech Red Raiders. Okay. That's what the commentator says on that. So, I always love Texas Tech. Like, I just had to say that.
Man.
It was just.
Say it one more time for me. How does he say it?
Texas Tech Red Raiders.
There we go. What I say, man, Lim came in and put it on. He already looking good. Now he feeling good, and now he playing even better than normal. Look, man, Lim trying to come in here and steal the show. Like
we
I
just
said,
playing ball today. We just playing ball.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going to go off script real quick. If we're talking about games that happened last night, I do just want to shout out the Florida State Seminoles. Being down by 17 at Wake Forest, coming back and winning it. It was huge. I had to get that shout out because I actually watched a college basketball game that was not in the Coliseum. So y'all should be proud of me.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that because we were in the Coliseum watching our West Georgia women's Wolves basketball team take down in dominant fashion the Austin Peay Governors. And while we're doing that, I just hear commentators in the background. I was like, what is that? Do they have the stream up? I turn around. I'm sitting in the front row. I turn around. I see Jackson Schrader and the twins, Andrew and Chase from Sports Out of Pocket. If you haven't met them yet, tune in to Out of Pocket Wednesdays at 5. I turn around and watch them. I'm like, man, are y'all watching a different game? They were watching the West Georgia basketball game while also looking at the Florida State versus Wake Forest game.
You got to multitask, man.
Basically, it's like this.
Right, and a few times I turned around, I was like, dude, it's a blowout. Cut the game off. But Florida State came back, proved me wrong. They shut me up and won that game. So you know what? Power to you. These guys are real fans. No matter what's going on, they will be tapped into something. Florida State athletics, I respect it. I just hope they act the same way when they're UWG alumni in a few years.
We will.
Now let's move forward.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about last night. Let's fast forward to this Saturday, February 15th at 4 p.m. in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The basketball world will all be united as the number one team in the land.
It's gonna be so
The
good.
22-2 Auburn Tigers, 10-1 in SEC play, are going into Tuscaloosa, Alabama to take on the number 2 team in the country. The 21-3, 10-1 in conference play, Alabama Crimson Tide. Now let me tell you, this game is going to be nothing short of incredible. 2 of probably the most potent offenses in all of college basketball.
Yeah.
Auburn Tigers, led by Janai Broome. Alabama Crimson Tide, led by Marcus Sears. 2 guys that are both averaging over 17 points per game, shooting over 40% from the field. This game is going to be nothing short of incredible. Now, I wish my guy Brendan Willoughby Ray, host of Sports Pack, was in here to help hype this game up.
Man.
He should have called in. He wasn't being proactive. No, I'm calling you out, Brendan. Brendan, you should have called in to the show knowing that this game was coming on. But you didn't. So we're going to pick up the slack for you. I can't believe you did that. Next time, call in when Alabama has a big game. But this game's going to be incredible. Schrader, what do you think about it?
Dude, I'm just thinking. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, when was the last time we had an Iron Bowl with this much magnitude
in college basketball?
Like,
it's been a minute.
Not even just college basketball in general. Like, respectfully, Auburn hasn't done much to make the Iron Bowl that big of a game outside of the
Except for 4th
name.
and 31.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you look at this game, and I mean, nosebleeds for this game are $385.
Oh, wow. Man, that's a lot for a college basketball.
Can you imagine? Can you believe SEC basketball is where it is now?
Exactly. I remember like 5 years ago, it wasn't even close. It was a joke. Like, it was like the ACC ran it, and now the SEC's taking it. So yeah, but like with nosebleeds being $385, the magnitude of this game, you don't get 1 versus 2 in college basketball that much, if ever. So this is a huge game, and I might actually watch this one too. And that means it's a really, really big game.
Well, I hope you watch it. So I do plan on talking about it on Monday. It's going to be a great game. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
If I was to make a pick right now, I'd lean Alabama. I just feel like they're primed for this upset. They need to take the 1 seed at some point in this season. Right. But these are 2 teams that are going to be playing deep into March. I expect both of these teams to be represented in the Sweet 16 of the portion of the tournament. Both really good teams. Both teams that I could realistically see playing in the Final Four. So this matchup is going to be incredible. For people that think there's so many games in college basketball, these games really don't matter. We'll talk about it in the postseason or in conference tournament play. This game matters to these guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Like you said, Schrader, this is the Iron Bowl. Number 1 versus number 2. In number 2's house. That game's going to be incredible. I cannot wait to watch it this Saturday, 4 p.m. Do not miss it, because we're talking about it on Monday.
Miss it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Let's talk about the NBA.
Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Baby, let's talk some NBA. Now, I'm going to take this time to call out somebody else from Wolf Sports Network. I'm going to call out the Twins. The same Twins who I just shouted out earlier in the day. Yeah, I just saw Chase's head perk up in the other room. Yeah, Chase, I'm calling you out. Chase and Andrew. What's the deal, man? Do y'all not like us? I mean, you're in here looking at the show, but it doesn't seem like y'all are really enjoying what we're doing here. Because I would fully expect y'all to call in the Sports Pack enraged after last night's game. The Atlanta Hawks went on the road to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks. Losing 148, yes, 148 to 149 to the New York Knicks.
Defense is optional, I guess.
Yeah. Defense is optional, and that's why I expected them to call in enraged about this game. But they didn't, so it is what it is. Maybe they'll, too, call me out and take up the challenge next week the same way I expect Brendan to next week. But you have to stay to the next week's Sports Pack to hear if they actually call into the show. But I do want to talk about this game, and I want to talk about the winners of this game. The New York Knicks, led in scoring by Karl Anthony Towns, who dropped 44 points to go along with 10 rebounds, none of those being defensive rebounds.
Really?
And Jalen Brunson.
They played no defense
with
last
36 points. Let me tell you something, man. These New York Knicks can score.
Yeah.
And they're a legit threat. Matter of fact, I don't want to say that just yet, but I do want to ask you all. After seeing this big-time scoring performance, Karl Anthony Towns has scored 40 points in 2 straight games. Jalen Brunson is trying to work his way into the MVP conversation this season. Do y'all think the New York Knicks are a real threat to win the Eastern Conference and go to the NBA Finals this year?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like it was like it was kind of like interesting to see the trade that they did with Julius Randle leaving and Dante DiVincenzo, and seeing how the Knicks would play out with Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns joining them. But the Knicks, they've been proving that this trade has blessed us.
Yeah,
it's blessed them. So them winning this overtime game versus Atlanta is just like. I think the Knicks can definitely do something in the playoffs, man. Like when they won against Minnesota like earlier in this season, I was like, dang, it looks like the Knicks win the trade here. I mean, so shout out to the Knicks, man. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges. I mean, they're just balling right now, man. Mikal Bridges, when they played the Spurs on Christmas, he was just he couldn't miss in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He was not hitting the rim.
They're deep. That Knicks team is deep. They can get you from so many different angles.
So shout out to the Knicks, man. So I think they could be a threat for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree simply because, like, one, I know that Jalen Brunson is a bucket. Like, I've watched him play in playoff series against the Heat when the Heat did take the series, but Brunson balled out the entire time. And sometimes at that point, it seemed like a one-man show.
Yep.
Like, he was the guy doing it all. But adding Karl Anthony Towns to that team is huge because when I was playing 2K17, man, I was on the Timberwolves, and Cat was my guy. So, like, I know he's a bucket. So, like, building that much talent, especially with Cat playing at the level that he's playing, if he can sustain that, then this team is bound for success in the playoffs.
There's only one thing that concerns me because y'all are right. They're ballers. They got studs up and down the roster. Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson. The list goes on. Josh Hart holding it down defensively. He's just their garbage man on that team, and that's a compliment. He's a monster. He calls his own number for this team. The one thing that concerns me though is defense.
Just score more than the other guys.
But is it really that easy when you're going up against teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have one of the greatest offenses we've seen in NBA history, putting together an incredible season?
Defense.
If you played more offense.
Man, the Boston Celtics, with guys like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, the list goes on. Like when you're Derek White, I mean, like the list goes on with these kind of teams.
Yeah.
So when you're playing these kind of high potent offenses, guys that can go out and drop 160 if needed any given night, and you playing defense like this against the Hawks, giving up 148 points in overtime.
That is true. I guess that's not a great team to be putting up.
Exactly. It's like, what exactly are you going to do? Because just 2 games ago, the New York Knicks lost to the Boston Celtics that I just mentioned. Can you guess the score?
No.
A lot to a lot.
131 to 104.
Yeah.
I was kind of right.
Dude, this is a team that is struggling defensively. They put up 104 points and still almost lost by 30. They dropped by 27. So when you're looking at this Knicks team, yeah, they can score with just about anybody. In the early rounds, they may be okay. They might find a way to squeak past the Pistons, who really aren't a bad team whatsoever. They're sitting as the 6th seed right now, 29 and 26 going into All-Star weekend. Cade Cunningham's an all-star, turning into a superstar in front of our very eyes, one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA.
Yeah.
Maybe even squeak past the Miami Heat, a team you can straight up outscore. He just showed you can outscore the Hawks.
Yeah.
But moving forward, as you get into the deeper and deeper rounds, you have the Cavs, like I mentioned, the Celtics. The Indiana Pacers are getting hot at the right time. They can still score with just about anybody in this league as well. So when you get to the point where you're facing up against these teams, it's going to be very, very difficult to make it out of the East because he ain't the only one that can score. But you are one of the only ones not playing defense, and that's the one thing that scares me when looking forward to the when looking at that Knicks team.
Well, obviously, I didn't really say it earlier, but I feel like it's not that the Knicks can make a good run in the playoffs. But other than being a Hawks fan and despising the Knicks, when you let that game go down to what it was yesterday, because at one point they were up by almost 20 on us.
They were up by a chunk.
They were up by a chunk, and we ate back at that. That can bite you in the butt when it comes to playoff times. Yeah. Now and then again, they get this all fixed, and that playoff gear and everything starts turning, and they start playing defense like crazy. But from what we're seeing, definitely poses a threat for playoffs because as you're just talking about right there, these guys can drop. Teams can drop 160. They'll do it. They'll go out there. It won't be 160 in one night, but still, it'll be something that's very threatening, and that could be a short run in the playoffs for them.
Yeah, man, we live in a 3-point era. These teams score out.
Yes.
They can name the amount.
I love Curry, but he ruined it.
Yeah, he did.
I want to mention the Knicks. I think come playoff time, kind of what you said, John, I think they're going to build off of playoff
it's like the
playoff
gear.
energy, the gear. Because I think it was a couple years ago or last year they played the Pacers and like they had Dante DiVincenzo obviously, but their energy was like they wanted to. They just look different, so maybe that can happen this year.
It's also it's New York and playoffs. It's like I don't know if it's a good and a bad mixed together.
The atmosphere is ridiculous.
Like MSG in a play with a playoff atmosphere. No matter what the sport is, it's gonna be electric.
Absolutely, playing in the Garden,
like season on the line. That's just a different brand of basketball that you don't get in the regular.
I'll never forget a few years back when Trae Young turned into an outright super villain.
Oh my God!
In Madison Square Garden, that right there was beautiful. That playoff series is one of the best I've ever had the ability to watch, mainly because I am a hometown kid. I'm a Hawks fan. So seeing that happen and seeing Trae Young turn into a villain like that was incredible. Hey, they haven't got another superstar to pair up with him to turn around and get rid of these 500 seasons, but that's a conversation for another day, man.
I like what you're saying.
I wish Ant-Man was on this team. Even a few years ago, Paul George. Now you don't want Paul George now. No. They're saying 76ers Paul George is in the convo with Celtic Shaq. But a few years back, adding Paul George to this Hawks team definitely would have got us over 500. I can tell you that much. Now, looking forward to the association. This weekend is All-Star Weekend. We talked about that on Monday. But before that, we still got some games tonight. Very interesting game tonight. The 27-27 Golden State Warriors. Still testing out their new addition, Jimmy Butler. Go on the road to Houston to take on the 34-20 Houston Rockets, who are 17-8 at home. That's a very, very talented team that they're going to face off with in Houston. I expect a very entertaining game when the Warriors and the Rockets are playing. Those are two teams that are always going to be very entertaining. But it's going to be an interesting game to watch, Lim. How about you make a quick pick here? Who you got in this one?
Okay, so this game is up for grabs, but I'm going to go with Golden State. I know they just got Jimmy Butler. It looks like he's meshing well with Steph Curry and the rest of the team so far from what I've seen. So I got the Warriors winning this one. Not by a lot, but I think it's going to be a good game.
It's definitely going to be a good game nonetheless. I'm with you. I think it's a pick 'em. I can see this game going either way. I might lean Golden State just because they're really excited now they just got Jimmy Butler. But this Houston team is a really, really good team. I expect them playing deep into the playoffs, definitely making it into the second round. They're really good, really young, coached by Ime Udoka, who I still think is one of the best minds in basketball. I'm very excited to watch them. I love watching them all year this year. They're just going to get better and better as time goes on.
Yes, sir.
Another game this year, another game tonight at 8:30 on TNT. The Oklahoma City Thunder travel to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves led by Anthony Edwards. These are two phenomenal guards, and Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander about to face off tonight. Quick picks here. Who you got, Lim?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Minnesota on this one.
Okay.
I know Oklahoma got the best league, they got the best record in the league right now, but I'm gonna go with Minnesota win this one at home.
Schrader, you agree?
I'm gonna go with the Thunder.
Okay.
Just because on paper they look pretty darn good. I don't know too much about them, but I do know that as of now they are the highest graded NBA team ever.
Oh wow.
They're above 2016 Golden State and 1996 Chicago. So I'm gonna say with that in mind, I think they'll take down the Minnesota Timberwolves that are not even. I mean, they're 5 games above 500.
Thunder and SGA. Just don't catch a cramp like me.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. It's going to be a great game nonetheless. I'm not sure who I'd pick to win this game right now. It's easy to lean towards the Thunder, and I'm not saying easy in a bad way because they're a great team. Like Schrader just said, they're the most efficient. You said as of right now, the most efficient team in NBA history?
No, the highest graded
Lord.
NBA team ever. So that's just like they're the best NBA team ever as of now.
Right. On paper, they're the best we've ever. Not even on paper. They're proving it.
Yeah,
the stats are making that.
They're going crazy.
They're one of the greatest NBA teams we've ever seen as of right now.
Thanks, Paul George.
Maybe I'm gonna jinx. Yeah, thank you, Paul George, for all the draft picks. Maybe we're gonna jinx them by saying that. But they're 44-9. Even if they stink up the court tonight, go look at some of their past games. They've been incredible.
Yeah.
Led by SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's trying to put together his first ever MVP season. People argue he should have won it last season, but I think he just might get it this year. The Thunder team's incredible, and the way it's looking, it's either going to be the Thunder versus the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. That's not a prediction. I'm just saying that's how it's looking right now. Those are the three top teams in the NBA. It's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. But stay tuned. We're going to take a quick ad break, but when we get back, we're going to dive into some sports news. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
You are listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network, your home for all things UWG athletics.
Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. Woo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through a WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
It's a brand new season, and you know what that means. A brand new series.
Kool-Aid Jackson Cook.
Mark my words, by the end of his career, Nolan Arenado will be better than Chipper Jones.
Jackson Cook.
New short series, exclusively on Wolf Sports Network YouTube.
Kool-Aid Jackson Cook.
Make sure to like and follow on all socials for more content.
It's time to introduce Wolf Sports Network's newest show, The Playbook. Your home for college football, baseball, and basketball. And just like VCU in 2011, we're set to make a Cinderella run to the top of a Wolf Sports Network.
The Rams are going to the Final Four.
Tune in live every Tuesday from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And we have a brand new show coming to Wolf Sports Network, The Playbook, where they talk about everything going on in the college sports world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
Dine West will soon introduce new stations, including a ramen station and a fuel for performance nutrition station at West Commons Dining Hall. These additions are designed to provide more choices and cater to different nutritional needs. More information is located at UWG_Dine_West on Instagram. That is UWG_Dine_West on Instagram.
The Dodgers introducing Shohei Ohtani after signing him to a record-breaking contract.
Nick Saban is retiring.
Breaking news on Sports Pack. More things going on in the sports world brought to you by Sports Pack. I know we talked about on Monday with the Four Nation Face-Off in hockey with a bunch of NHL stars. So far, it's going really good. Yeah. Schrader, tell us how it's going.
Really good, I feel like, is an understatement for how that first game went. We were given one of the best 3-on-3 overtimes that we have ever had in hockey history. With Canada taking on Sweden last night, it came down to the wire, and Mitch Marner had an absolute snipe to win the game for Canada. So little brother did really, really good yesterday, but tonight is what we should really be looking at because the USA plays Finland. And Finland, in my opinion, is the dark horse of this tournament. They have a lot of really, really good players, like Alexander Barkov. He's the captain of my Florida Panthers. He's probably one of the most skilled players in the NHL when it comes to playing on both ends of the ice. So that's huge, but the USA, man, if you're going to watch hockey, turn this on. You're going to get the best players in the world taking on each other. You get the USA. We got Freebird as a goal horn. So, like, every time that we score a goal, you're going to hear the guitar solo to Freebird. Like, what's more American than that, dude?
That's American right
That's
there.
what I'm
I've ever
saying.
heard.
Like, turn on the Four Nations and just watch what's going on the ice because it's amazing.
Okay, so Jackson, you're kind of reeling me in here. So, look, I'm an American.
Yes,
obviously.
you are.
You're pure-blooded.
African American. Look, but I'm here. But look, listen, here's the thing, man.
Yeah.
I don't watch much hockey whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a guy, an American, that has not watched much hockey in my life, I've probably watched 20 minutes of hockey tops in my entire 20 years of living. So what are a few things I should look out for in this game tonight against Finland?
Yeah, when you're watching this game against Finland, the big thing that you should watch is the front lines. So in hockey, there's like 4 lines, and each line is about 3 people, and we have some amazing lines, right? I said we have the best players in the world playing, and that's because this is the All-Star game. They're not doing an All-Star game in the NHL. They're doing the Four Nations face-off.
Right.
So you get to see the best American players like Jack Hughes, Matthew Tkachuk. You get some of these guys. We got the best goalie in the world. you get to watch the best talent in the world play against each other. So you're going to be able to see hockey played with a lot of passion because they're playing for their home country, and you're going to get to see that on the highest stage. It's just going to be really exciting to watch.
So on paper, this is going to be the best hockey we can possibly ever watch.
Aside from playoff hockey, I think playoff hockey is one of the best spectacles sports has to offer.
Okay.
But this is the best sport you will get this time of year.
Next best
hands
thing.
down.
I'll take it. I'm sold.
Yeah, I love hockey. It's like basketball on skates, but
with fighting.
It's everything soccer wishes it was.
But with a stick.
pretty much.
But no, that's the thing. I find it easier to watch soccer though. Like
it's just so slow.
I flip that. I find hockey much better than soccer.
Okay, so here's the thing with me. The last World Cup really reeled me into soccer. Like I loved it. The energy was incredible. Then I had the opportunity to volunteer at the She Believes Cup last year in Atlanta. It was incredible. If you have the opportunity to go this year, make sure you go, or next time they host an event. It was great. Hosted by the U.S. Soccer Federation. The energy is incredible. But the main thing with hockey is I can't keep up with the puck when it's on the ice.
Yeah, that's just something you have to learn. Yeah. I mean, the way that I do it, I watch the players, not as much the puck. You can kind of see who's going for the puck just by watching the players. But I mean, yeah, there's not much you can do besides just get used to the puck because it moves around real fast. It's not really easy to see.
I'll just take like 2 or 3 Tylenol before watching.
We just need to take you to a Gladiators game, get you broken on.
For real.
Some ECHL right there, get you broken in.
ECHL, what is that?
It is the considered minor leagues?
It's basically the minor leagues.
Minor leagues,
yeah. I wasn't sure if he just insulted me or not. I was like, hold on, I'm no ECHL now. But
that's the division they're in, or. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the minors.
Yeah.
I've also been to a Columbus River Dragons game. That was super fun. It's also like minor league team, and they literally just fight for the entertainment.
It's amazing.
Like,
in-person hockey is
so
the most
fun.
entertaining
than
sport
on
that
TV.
you can watch. I mean, aside from college football, college football is number one on just about every list. But like in-person hockey, if you get to sit up on the glass, dude, it's so fun. You just get to
bang on the glass
the whole time. It's so fun.
See people get slammed up into the glass.
Yeah,
makes it awesome.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's super fun. Another team that took a shot on a player was the Boston Red Sox. They signed Alex Bregman to a 3-year, $120 million contract. That is pretty insane.
For 3 years, that's a lot of money.
3 years, $120 million, man.
Yeah.
Good Lord. That right there, that's a boatload. And it's crazy because Jimmy Butler's currently getting more. 2 years, $121 million. Like these contracts recently have been nothing short of.
Where does this money come from, dude? Like,
no, literally.
Oh, it grows on trees. For some people, money does grow on trees.
For real. I mean, I guess the MLB doesn't have a salary cap, so it's like you can give a guy however much money.
$700 million plus.
If you're the Dodgers, you defer it all for 10 years later and kind of close your eyes and hope that 10 years later never happens.
Like, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Exactly. I think this is a great signing for the Red Sox, though, because he's kind of the last major free agent that wasn't signed, and a lot of people didn't quite know where he was going. But for the Red Sox to get Bregman, it really seals their fielding, because they have had Devers at third base, but he's led the league in errors a couple of times, so he's not the greatest.
7 times. According to Jason Barger from our group chat.
Yeah, according to our internal sources.
Yes.
For he's led the league in errors 7 times, which is not great in the hot corner.
7 times?
7 times.
Yeah, that's terrible, actually.
A great way to fix that is to get one of the best fielding third basemen on the market, if not the best on the market, put him at third base, put Devers at a much less complicated first base.
And I guess, but if you're making that many errors, you're making that many errors. Moving the problem from third to first. I mean, I guess it's a little bit better.
Maybe DH is a better thing.
Yeah, how about it? Let's just DH him. Because good Lord,
maybe hitting is his strong suit.
Leading the league in errors 7 years in a row. I don't think the position is the issue. I think it's the guy. I think he's the common factor.
Yeah, but it's a great signing, and it really puts the Red Sox in position to make a push for the World Series, because they've kind of been missing 1, maybe 2 key pieces, and they have done a very good job filling the holes that they've needed to.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I'm definitely interested to see. I mean, with spring training about to start up in next 2 weeks, like I'm really interested to see how these teams are going to work. But another sport that I kind of want to shine light on that we don't ever talk about is lacrosse. So the Women's Lacrosse League has just started up for their inaugural season. They have their 4 first teams: the New York Charging, the Maryland Charm, the California Palms, and the Boston Guards. Right now, the the Women's Lacrosse League and also the Premier Lacrosse League, so the league for men. They've been having their tournaments this week, which is super cool. I think it's super cool for the game of lacrosse. It's actually a big sport in high school, I feel like. So to bring it more to the professional level
women's
is super cool to
lacrosse
see.
is big in high school and it's growing in college. So this is really, really good for women's sports.
I'd never seen lacrosse in person until high school. I have a great friend by the name of Kevin Gillespie. Shout out Kevin. He's a great guy. Look, 10 out of 10. Greatest guy in the world. But like, he played high school lacrosse, I think our junior and senior year. But I didn't go to one of his games until senior year because folks told me, hey, bro, Kevin's a dog. And I was like, no way Kevin's a dog. Like, Kevin's not an athlete. Like he's one of those guys that's like, he doesn't check all the boxes. He's not fast. He's not physically imposing, all this other kind of stuff. Like I said, Kevin, I love you. Look, you're not fast. You're not physically imposing. You don't look at him and just go, man, he's going to be a problem on the field. But when he got on that lacrosse field and put that helmet on, dude, it was like I was watching.
Like Luke Kuechly with a helmet on?
Dude, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just
flip
like
the switch.
Yeah,
dude, he flipped the switch. It's like the game slowed down. It's like everyone else was moving in slow motion, and he was just flying around. I'm like, dude, he was out there going crazy. And right at that moment, I remember I left baseball practice, had my baseball bag on my back, watching his game. Dude, my jaw dropped to the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, this right here is incredible. And that right there is what started my infatuation with lacrosse. It's a great sport. I love watching it when I get the chance. Watching it on TV is good, but watching lacrosse in person, oh my goodness, it's incredible. If you haven't seen it, go to a game. If they got a player like Kevin, you're going to fall in love with the sport just like I like.
We have a professional lacrosse team here in Atlanta, the Georgia Swarm.
It's the indoor lacrosse league,
yeah, indoor lacrosse league, yes. It's supposed to be really, really fun over at Gas Health Arena, so might just swing up there.
Yeah, it's definitely super cool. Real quick, before we end out tonight's show, I wasn't here for the college basketball segment, and my Auburn Tigers are playing in the Iron Bowl for basketball this weekend.
They are.
I want to go around the table and get everyone's picks. Just say the Alabama or Auburn. Schrader.
I'll go Auburn.
I'll say Auburn.
Give me Alabama. I like the Crimson Tide in this one. It's going to be a great game. I can see it going either way. But I think at the end, Bama's going to pull away slightly and win this game by 5 points.
Richard, didn't I say one word, like Alabama or Auburn? And you gave...
I said Alabama.
Wait, Carly, who do you think is going to win?
Auburn.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, my gosh. Really?
You don't say.
There's no way.
Hey, man.
And just like that, that's all the time we have for tonight.
Thanks for tuning in to Sports Pack, you all. We'll be back on Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. It's been an amazing show. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you right here on Monday. Have a blessed day, and happy Valentine's Day. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.